Smashed it.
Right, so it's Friday night, it's very late. I'm playing FTL. Eddy is playing something. Lego Harry Potter.
Years 1 to 4.
Years 1 to 4, the golden years. Right, I'm going to rename this spaceship to
Golden Age of Harry Potter. I've done this bit before. It didn't auto-save the last time I played through.
In fact, I'm going to be punny. I'm going to have it a night with a K. Wow, it's late in my hands. I'm not with it today. Oh, it won't let me have night with a K because it's too many letters. Right then, the Friday night ship. Let's see, I have one ship. That's fine. Right. I don't know, different layouts. That's terrible. Advanced edition content enabled. Playing on easy mode because I want to chillax today.
It's not because you're a scrublord.
I'm a scrublord. We're going to have Captain Sam. We're going to have what rank are you, Eddy?
What rank am I?
Yeah, on my ship. Come on.
Admiral of the fleet.
Admiral Eddy. That'll do. Admiral Eddy. And we'll go
Porter. Connor's a porter.
Coach Connor.
Coach, fair enough. Not cabin boy.
Nah, I don't think he is.
He could be a scrub lord because he could scrub the decks.
Exactly. Sorry, we just had a bit of an issue there. I inadvertently set him as black, which in and of itself wouldn't have been all that bad. But with the jokes we were making, I thought this is going to end badly. Defeat the flagship with any layout of the Kestrel cruiser, and I get different layouts. Perfect. If you can't, bitch, it's rename my ship. Friday night, done. They're all named. Got them. That's that. Yes. Right, we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. So anyway, I can't remember how to do this.
Is this part of the podcast, by the way?
Currently it is. All the controls have changed. Meh, fuck it.
What are you even playing?
I'm playing FTL. I'm commander of a spaceship. Don't you know?
FTL is.
Let's see, we jump to some locations and then we'll start discussing things. So, oh shit. So what's the plan then? Because this is a discussion about the channel. So far we've uploaded, I believe...
4 videos?
Yeah, we've done a Hearthstone primer, we've done part 1 and part 2 of mine and your journey to Hearthstone domination. And a woefully terrible edit of the Fist Puncher recording we did.
Right, come on. You literally sat on your ass doing nothing, telling me that it was going to be crap. So me and Connor tried to have a bit of fun with it. And there you were, playing Metal Gear or whatever it was.
Yeah, I was playing Metal Gear. To be fair, I'd edited 3 other videos together, and I let you guys have a go with one, because you did need to learn.
And then you didn't do any of the editing.
I actually edited little bits of it together after the fact.
Well, you didn't change the beginning, which, frankly, was the worst bit.
That is true. Yeah, it wasn't good.
And the end. But anyway.
Yeah, the beginning had a terrible laugh, which is still on there, and the end doesn't fade out correctly, which is still there.
Yeah, but who cares about people turn it off when it comes up with like this is on next week. people just turn it off, click a button, nobody cares.
That's true.
I was thinking about our viewers, of which we have none.
Well, that's another thing. We've had a few views on the videos, and I know. The thing is, I can't tell whether that's just because I've been editing the videos and various other people that have made the videos have been watching them, or whether that's actual people stumbling across them. But I've tried my best to set up the descriptions to get us a reasonable ranking in the searches. So it was interesting. I found some very interesting things to do with the formatting of your description. It informs Google about various bits and pieces, and it kind of dictates where you are in the rankings when you get searched.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Now I've just realised I've accidentally turned the O2 off.
What does that mean?
Well, have a guess.
Oh, you're talking about your bloody game.
Yes, I am. Not
On
yet. I didn't turn like the AC off. I just accidentally forgot to have the.
I just shot Harry Potter in the arse with an umbrella. How about that?
And you're not talking about your game.
Well, I thought I'd join in. I shot some random bloke in the
I
face as well.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh.
So I honestly can't remember like the different days that we were going to have, because that was the point, wasn't it?
The plan was to have different days, yeah.
So like day 1 would be Hearthstone, day 2 would be Harry Potter Lego.
I guess.
Day 3 would be Harry Potter Lord of the Rings. Harry Potter Lord of the Rings? What? Lego Lord of the Rings. That sort of thing. And
Yeah,
then,
I mean the intention was that we could just have a specific set of things on each day, but that's not how it's worked out really.
hasn't due to different things, some production issues.
Yes, and
The fact that we don't have a studio.
yeah, there's a few things that have been causing issues really.
The fact that we can't win a game of Dota.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest issue in terms of the Dota videos.
It's not even that we can't win, it's just the way that we win or the way that we lose isn't making for good viewing.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind posting a video if we lose.
Yes.
Just if we get absolutely stomped and it's like because the other people who are us are feeding or whatever.
Yeah,
it's not
great.
fun, is it? It's not a good thing to watch. It's not interesting for anybody else. So that's been an issue.
Yeah, that has been kind of a big issue. Which I suppose in and of itself shouldn't be too bad. I mean, that's things that we can deal with. But yeah, it's not been.
It's not been the easiest start, but then
No.
again, it is our first week.
Yeah, it's all
Once
the sort
we
of
get-
teething problems. I mean, the first video took hours to get ready, and it's 5 minutes long, just because it took forever to work out what exactly we wanted, the intros and the outros and stuff, and then it was learning how to make those, and then how to edit in general using the programs we've got. It's been tricky.
Yeah, and then you didn't really explain it to me properly.
That's true.
So what were the days were we having, right?
The days we were having, from my understanding, it was
Monday's Hearthstone.
Monday was Hearthstone, which was already late, so we've ended up with 3 Hearthstone videos as opposed to the single one we were intending to have. We were then going to have co-op on Tuesday, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
We were going to have
Dota on a Thursday.
Dirt on a Thursday. What the hell was Wednesday? Consoles.
Consoles.
That was Hearthstone's console.
Spooky Stream.
Yeah, so the week, the first 5 days of the week was Hearthstone, consoles, co-op, Dota, scary stuff, and then Saturday was whatever. Saturday was like a free play. But it's ended up that we've had 3 Hearthstone videos go up and 1 co-op video, and the co-op video's audio is spotty as well, mainly. And strangely, that isn't an editing issue, that was a recording issue. Where it just didn't record the music from the game.
Strangely enough.
No, the strangely enough part was, the only person who would have been able to tell that it wasn't recording the audio correctly was the person with the headset, and the person with the headset was the only person who hadn't, up until that point, recorded anything and couldn't tell. He was also the only person to have not played that game before, and so had no idea whether it needed to have music or not. So it was one of those perfect storms of, Connor will never know what that game sounds like. And honestly didn't realise at all that was what had gone on.
When you say you didn't...
He might have done, but...
So the people who are involved, I guess, would be all... So there's me meeting you and me,
That's
and
Sam and
Connor.
Eddy.
Yeah, so far. And I guess anybody else could be, like, doing whatever, getting involved if they wanted to, or like, making cameos, if that's what... if we were being like that. So there's Haz, who's your brother.
Yes, that's true.
That's true.
Well, it is.
It is true, yeah. John.
Yep.
Jay.
Well, at the moment we've got a bunch of people that could be involved. So there's, Harry, my brother, or Haz, and then there's John, Jay, and Tom that probably get involved to some extent, mainly with Dota videos, I imagine.
Yeah.
And then there's us 3, which would be me, Sam, you, Eddy, and Connor.
Yeah.
Who obviously isn't here at the moment because he's probably gambling.
He's definitely gambling. When we say gambling, he's an addict. We've tried to get him help, but he's there more or less every night until 6 a.m.
Yep.
And
Terrible.
You just gotta stop him.
Oh, I love it. Ooh, an anti-combat drone. Stuns combat drones attacking your ship. Oh my god. I have no idea how any of this shit works. I'm just kind of...
I don't even know what this game that you're playing is.
Basically, it's Star Trek, the game. You command a ship. I've got a crew. Basically,
That sounds original.
There's Captain Sam. There's Admiral Eddy.
I know you've said
Connor.
this already.
Yeah, but...
Or is this in case you edit that bit out?
Well, you never know, do you? What if one of you's died? Or what if one of you's been sexed by an alien and is now something entirely different?
Has that happened?
It hasn't. It could have. Well, to be fair, it might have. I don't know. Don't know how these things work.
Connor's a bit strange.
That is true. So, yeah, I outfit my ship. I set off. At the moment, the ship is called the Friday Night because it's Friday night and it's late. Yeah. And it's an interesting game. It's a bit of a roguelike, so I could just kind of jet off, do stuff. If I fuck up, start again.
Cool. I heard Kerbal Space Program was good.
I have heard this too. I've never played it. I can only imagine it's a bit like Besiege, but like...
I've never played that either.
Oh, that's really good. That's building catapults and things.
Alright, that sounds pretty cool. This is the thing, right? I'm terrible at games. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not good. Whether that's console gaming or playing games on this.
I find it's hard to sell you on games, regardless of what the game is. It often takes a big push to get you to play whatever it happens to be.
See, I find it like really easy to watch any film, but when it's a game, I don't know. It feels like it's a big investment of my time.
Yeah.
And like, if it's not amazing, then I don't really want to get involved. That's why I think the games like the ones that you're into, what is it? Bloodborne and the other one.
Oh, Dark Souls.
Dark Souls, yeah.
Super hard.
See, that's the thing. Is it super hard, or is it just irritating?
It's... There's a learning curve involved.
See, that's the thing.
There's an element of understanding the mechanics of the world before you can make real progress.
But that was the thing, because I played Bloodborne. You forced me to play Bloodborne.
Forced is a bit of a strong word, but yeah, I demanded you play them.
And it was me and Connor, like, tagging each other in every now and again.
Yeah.
And we were stuck on the... Let's be honest, if it was a film, like, scene 2, we got stuck.
Yeah, you did.
Scene 1 being, we're in a room with a load of things that you can smash up. That was quite fun. Enjoyed doing that. Then you run outside, you get chased by a wolf, which you can't bait the wolf into going and killing the guys outside, which I thought that was a brilliant plan. Like, to me, when people are like, this game's really hard, you really need to think about what you're doing and stuff, I thought, I've smashed it here, this is going to be amazing, like, people are going to be impressed. And it didn't work, you just get killed by everything, and you're like, well, okay. But then you don't technically die, because the point of the story is that you do die, but then at the same time you don't have to die. And then we got stuck on the same bit, literally for like 2 hours before giving up.
Yeah.
And it's not fun.
For you.
Yeah, people like it. People really enjoy it. And it's, I don't know, it's, yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a big issue. Oh dear. Yeah, on my ship I've accidentally set fire to the door controls. Do you know, like all of them? And one of the easiest ways to get rid of a fire in this game is to open all the doors, like, do you know, the airlock, and let the air out.
Right.
Not happening at the moment. There's a fire in the med bay now. There's a major fire in the med bay. Holy shit. Yeah, this is not good. Oh, good. Okay, we finally fixed everything. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, in terms of Bloodborne and Dark Souls, the main draw of that game is it's punishing, but every time that you die, there has been a reason for your death. It hasn't been an arbitrary sort of... I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It hasn't been you just sort of mistiming something random, like walking into a room in, say, I'm trying to think of a comparable game. Like, say you go into something in The Witcher,
yeah,
and you could be fighting a giant griffin monster or whatever, and this griffin monster lands and it just does like an attack, and that clips you, and you didn't happen to have your magic shield up, and you die. That could have been avoided by you having the magic shield up or whatever, but you didn't go into that fight going, if it swings at me once, it's definitely going to kill me, I must have the magic shield up. You went into that fight going, I'll see what I can get away with. You know, I'll just start hitting it. Ooh, it's a bit strong, I'll put the shield on. Ooh, right, took it off. Back and forth. And you die and go, well, I'll just do it again. And then you can go in with the exact same plan and win. Because the monster behaves differently every time. Because there's an element of randomness to how they fight. Now, there is an inherent element of randomness to Dark Souls and Bloodborne, in that the monsters have a set of attacks that they perform, and it's the order they perform it in sometimes doesn't sync up. But I feel the difference there is in Dark Souls, or Demon Souls or Bloodborne or whatever, if we had a giant griffin monster, and you ran in, and it swung at you, and you didn't block it and you didn't roll, you would die.
Yeah.
And I would feel perfectly justified in dying in that circumstance and be like, shit, probably should have dodged, probably should have blocked it. Whereas in The Witcher, if I ran in and it one-shotted me, I'd feel pissed off. Because other enemies in that game don't one-shot me. And, you know, I might have done a griffin fight before and got away with just randomly running in and hitting shit. Because, you know, I can fight griffins, that's good. But like, say it's 20 levels ahead, that griffin's now stronger, hence the one-shot is available for it. You know, it can hit you, and it just works out all the, the maths in the behind-the-scenes bit, deals X amount of damage, and instantly kills you. Right? There is none of that in Dark Souls. Like, that doesn't happen. There isn't a behind-the-scenes math to what's going on. Everything is as hard as it always is. And the only math that you're doing at all is, like, your weapon damage, etc., which is relatively obvious. Your weapon does this damage, whatever. And you can always see it. Something that causes more of an issue, that I think that frustrates more people in Dark Souls, is the seemingly random ways you die. But when you go back and look at it, it has been spelt out to you. For instance, because this is getting a bit rambling now, I'll try and curtail this quickly, but for instance, you were saying, do you remember getting stuck on those trolls that held bricks? The big guys, bandaged. They had like a brick in one hand and they like leapt at you and beat the shit out of you. There were two of them in a small stretch.
Oh yeah, and you can like do the dodge thing and kick the crap out of them in like two-shot them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that fight, those brick trolls show up multiple times in the game, and they are just as hard to kill, more or less, every point throughout the game. It's balanced slightly insofar as like they have more health in the areas where it would make sense for them to be stronger. But usually it takes the similar amount of hits, and if they are different, they will be visually different enough that it's distinct. Like you would go, oh, this is not the same kind of deal. So it's tricky. Sorry, I'm kind of half losing my thoughts while I'm doing the spaceship combat. But yeah, it's one of them things where it always comes over as cheap. Like, sorry, that was the tangent. Good lord. With the trolls, so the brick trolls can kill you very quickly. They have a charge attack that will usually, by the time you find them, instantly kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get there a bit late or you've done a boss in a different order, you might be a bit stronger than that. But generally speaking, they'll one-shot you. Oh dear. Oh, this has gone tits up. I'm going to end this run. But yeah, so generally they'll kill you in one shot with this charge attack. Now you can, if you see it coming, which it telegraphs it quite well. They bend down, they put one arm to the floor, they hunch the shoulders, and then they sprint at you. Like if you've seen the Hulk or anything, it's like you know what's coming.
Yeah.
If you dodge out the way of it, there is a long period of time where they're not attacking you immediately after that, where you can get some good hits in. Now, the difference between that and a different game is, generally speaking, I mean, they've got a lot better now, but generally speaking, the charge attack, the telegraph, the way to show you it, that it's going to happen, you wouldn't have seen it for as long as they gave you in Bloodborne or Dark Souls. They rely on you watching and seeing what happens to get out of the way. They don't put it in a position where it's like, oh, look, this is what it's doing. It doesn't show you it fighting something else. Like in some other games, you know, when you come across a monster, it'll be attacking other people.
Yeah.
And you can kind of work out what it's doing just from that. Half of the fun in Bloodborne and Dark Souls is when you come across something new and you don't know how to fight it, is working out, how do I deal with this? What can it do? And that's why some people feel there are cheap deaths there, because it'll hit you with something you weren't expecting. And you go, oh fuck, it's just killed me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you should have been more careful, because you have no idea what it can do. I mean, occasionally there are things that are a little bit jammy. So there's, you know, bosses that all of a sudden have a massive range on them that you weren't expecting. Like they rip off an arm and hit you with the arm. You're like, oh fuck, okay. Didn't see that coming. But that's, again, a nice little, oh right, now I know it does that. How do I deal with it? Because it's not doing it straight away, but I know it's coming. I've got to plan around the fact that partway through this fight, I'm going to have to get some distance. Whereas in an average game, that boss wouldn't have that. Like, there aren't generally phases to bosses in that manner. Like, generally phases in boss battles, if you think back to Crash Bandicoot or Jak and Daxter or whatever, I am going for the stereotypical boss battles, strangely Naughty Dog and Bertha, but...
Yeah.
There's
So you do, like, there's stage 1, stage 2,
stage
and
two.
then stage 1. Well, stage 3 is stage 1, but a bit different.
Yeah, generally, or it's stage 1 and 2 together, and usually stage 1, 2 and 3, you've got to do whatever it is that you have to do 3 times.
Yeah.
Usually. Like, that's just how it works in bosses. Whereas a boss in Dark Souls might have phases, but those phases aren't as obvious, and it builds on existing knowledge. So you're fighting a spider demon or boss or whatever. You might have fought smaller versions of that earlier, and you're like, right, I understand what some of its attacks do now, so when it sort of leans over and starts shaking its back and spikes start quivering or whatever, it's going to launch them into the air. I've seen the little ones do this. Obviously it's bigger, so I need to be a bit more wary of this, but I've seen this before. I can build off the knowledge I already have of this. It even applies to some degree to the cheap deaths from traps, etc. Because you'll say go somewhere and all of a sudden an axe swings out the wall and kills you, and you're like, fuck, that was bollocks. But then when you walk back to there and you know it's coming, you go slower and you look and you go, oh shit, there's a massive scratch on the floor, like it's scuffed to fuck. I didn't notice that last time, but if I'd been looking, there's an indication there that I shouldn't be stepping into that spot, or that something does move there a lot. I should be aware that something might happen. And then once you see it, you go, oh right. And then you become more and more... You can become better and better at spotting things earlier. And a lot of what's nice is, once you get into the later half of those games, it knows you're good at this now, and then it starts to play with what you think you should be doing. For instance, it does things like, early on it has a lot of lifts. Now these lifts sometimes have secret rooms underneath. Like, so you have to step on the lift plate to make it go up, quickly jump off it to go back underneath. And you go, oh, secrets. Later on, instead of secrets, it's just spikes. Because it's like, we know you've got used to this now. You know the mechanics of the secret lift spots. So now we're just going to fuck with you and put spikes in them. And you're like, oh, shit. I'm doing that thing where I'm getting used to stuff again. I thought I knew what I was doing. And the game wants me to continually be evaluating everything I'm doing to make sure it's the perfect play. Which is why those games play so well when you really dive into them. Because initially you just seem like you're getting slammed. But you get it. Eventually you get it. And you slowly make progress, and then you end up... It's kind of a snowball effect. You get better and better. Because you start noticing the little things. You're like, oh, well, this kind of enemy is the weaker enemy in this zone. So I know I can pretty much one-shot it. But it'll have some jammy power where if I ignore it for too long, it's gonna kill me. Like the shitty little zombies in Dark Souls or Demon Souls. Or Bloodborne, sorry, which we've played. You know, just the guys with pitchforks. You can fucking wreck them, can't you? At a certain point, you can just kill them in 1 or 2 hits. But if you ignore them, then, you know, if you're focusing on a different enemy in the fight and you're not paying attention to them, they'll do like a flurry of pitchfork stabs and you're fucked. You take like 2/3 of your health and you're like, shit. Like, even the shittest enemy is still deadly.
See, that was the other thing that really annoyed me about it, is like, when you... Like, how unforgiving it is, which some people really like, but it's like, you get to a point, and it's taken you like an hour to get to that point, and you've worked it out, and you know what you're doing, and then you die, because you come across, like, you're just in a place, a dragon flies down on a bridge and lands on you or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Then you get sent back to the beginning, or the last, like, sword and, like, what are they called?
Last bonfire or whatever.
Bonfire, yeah. And then you run back and you're like, oh, it's taken me an hour, I've just done it. Like, I'm going to have to do it again, but I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to rush it. And when you rush it, you die again. So then all those souls that you've spent an hour collecting are just gone. Because the game's just like, well, I know you've done it, but, you know, you can't go back.
See, the thing there, though, there's counterpoints to this, which is, well, a giant dragon did just land. I mean, it might have been a bit of a surprise, like I can imagine the particular thing you're thinking of. And you go, ooh, yeah, that isn't great. You know, its jumps, it's jumped there, it's a big surprise, oh fuck. But, from my recollection, in that particular instance, the first time you see it, it doesn't attack. It drops down, lands on a bridge, and then fucks off. Which obviously is not great. But it's not killing you. It's showing you it's there, and it's scaring the shit out of you, making you more cautious. Now, there is a bit later on where if you run onto the bridge, it'll just breathe fire at you and kick the shit out of you. But you die to that once, and you go, fuck, that was bad. I've got to go all the way back there now. I've got to fight my way back from wherever I was. But now, you've done the area once now. It's a little bit easier. You know where enemy placements are. You know what's going on. So you do rush. But it's finding that balance of how fast can I rush this to get back to where I was without being reckless. And it's having the patience of going, right, I can go this fast. I can miss these enemies out because I'm pretty sure they're not going to be able to catch up with me by the time I get to the safe spot. So you can beast past those, but then it's knowing, right, well, these next ones are going to be tricky because maybe they do a poison that slows you or something, and you're like, right, I can't really just outrun these and ignore them, because although they're not going to kill me, they're going to follow me into a room where it's going to be very tricky to fight. And you learn to be faster at that. And you've only got to do it the once. You've only got to get through one time. You only have one perfect run to get to the next bonfire. And the great thing is when you do that perfect run, you feel it. You feel like, fuck me, that was so tricky, but I've mastered that section now. I am the boss of that section. And the next time you go back to that section, if you're having to run backwards through it, or you're looking for secrets or whatever, you go back through it and you go, nah, I fucking know what I'm doing here. And you just sprint over, you're slamming shit, you're kicking the crap out of everybody, because you're like, yeah, I know exactly how to do this section now. I don't need to worry. And you can even do it you can speedrun it faster than you could have done when you were just rushing and ignoring everything. You can kill everything faster than that because you just know that you've beaten it. And even if you die at that point, once you've got through it once, you go, well, fuck it, where am I going to respawn? Oh, after it. Doesn't matter. It's just really well put together in that way. And what's nice is they do reuse a bunch of areas, but the way they reuse them is it's interconnectedness. So I'm trying to think of anything it compares to, but there's very few games that do it as well as Dark Souls does. Or Bloodborne, where if you zoom out on a map, the whole game is contained within like a square box, like a square footage box, but it feels really long. You like, as in like physicality, not time. Like it feels like you go from one end of a map to another, and you have, but the map you've gone through is a three-dimensional one rather than the standard sort of 2D one. In that you're not crossing hills and valleys and stuff and going from one place to another. You're in a castle, and at this particular point, you're in the little village surrounding the castle, and later you go inside the castle. But what's great is you get inside the castle to fight the nastier things that's inside, and you can see where you were. You can look back and go, I fucking beasted that section on that bridge. I fucking messed that up. That was where that dragon was. But then from here you go, oh, maybe. Does that look like there's another room there that I didn't see from down there? And that's where you can do the whole interconnected bits, or there'll be shortcuts like you knock a ladder off a wall, now you can climb from the fucking bridge up the castle. Stuff like that where those games are just so well constructed that the enjoyment comes not just from the difficulty, but the worlds themselves that it's been built around. And the fact that all of the mechanics feed in to the world. Like the dying, it makes sense within that world that you can die and come back multiple times. And the difficulty makes sense because you're not a god or whatever. You're
just some bloke.
You're just a guy, but you are trying to do a godly deed effectively. So anyway, that was a hell of a rant.
Yeah.
But it's because it is that good a game. I can see why people don't like the game, like they don't enjoy playing it themselves. But it is just a good game. Like it's not necessarily universally good for every person, but it's like objectively an amazing game. In terms of just sheer game design. I mean, I'll flash up on screen at some point the 3D model of the Dark Souls map, because it is insane. When you look at it, you think how other games are built, and this one, it's colour-coded quite nicely, where it shows you each area in a separate colour, but it's about 15 or 16 different areas all built and stacked on top of each other to make one huge city castle. And every area you go, oh, what's that bit down there? And usually if you can see it, you can get to it, but not in the Skyrim-esque. Oh, there's a mountain, I want to climb it. Oh, what's here? Fuck all. It's, oh, there's a forest down there, I think. And then at some point you'll be in a forest section later and you go, fucking, where the fuck am I? You look up and go, oh, there's that castle. I must be in the forest I saw earlier. Like, you might not know how you got there, but eventually you work out roughly the position of things.
Yeah.
So good. So good. I'd recommend giving it at least a try again, even just the normal Dark Souls.
See, I don't know, because it's so difficult, and I don't really have the patience to get through the difficulty. It really distracted from the game for me, because it's like, I don't know, you can have a tricky bit in a game, but when it's like literally the first thing you're doing, it's so hard that you're stuck on it for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just takes away from I just couldn't be bothered with, that was what happened with Bloodborne, and it just annoyed me, because it was like, what's the point in me carrying on when I'm stuck this early on? It's obviously supposed to be like, not an easy bit, but like, it's the first bit.
Yeah.
So it can't be too tricky. Why would I want to carry on playing this? Like,
I cannot remember how long I spent on the first segment, but it took a while, and it took... I mean, that's especially somebody going into it who's played the original ones as well. Like, I played Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and to an extent Dark Souls 2 as well.
yeah.
And I went into it knowing, like, the... it's not even really the mechanics pack, because a lot of that changed, but, do you know, like, it's kind of like driving a car on a track. The track was different, but I still know how to drive a car.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Like, it's... I could still control, I could still hit things, I could still dodge about it, whatever, but it was learning what makes it different in this particular instance. I have done absolutely terrible on this game. I'm going to quickly swap to a different game, so the recording's going to stop for a second. Slight interlude.